Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, dear.
Good evening, ma'am.
Very good evening. In the time the students join, uh, you all please revise the stuff that we did yesterday.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you repeat what you said?
I'm asking till the time the other students join, you please revise the stuff, the topics that we did yesterday, because we'll be solving numericals today only.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine, almost all have joined. We can begin now. So we were doing pendulum and The concept of the clocks came from the periodic motion that bob of a pendulum makes. Okay, so it has one mean position and two extreme positions, and every oscillation is supposed to take the same time to repeat itself from any of the starting points. Okay, and what is meant by time period? The time taken by one oscillation is known as the time period of oscillation. And can anybody tell what is frequency?
The count of oscillations is known as frequency.
Correct.
Ma'am, the number of time it occurs.
Number of time, you can say number of cycles per second per unit time is frequency.
I have a doubt.
Hmm.
Like, is it possible to calculate the speed of a pendulum?
Speed. Yes, you can calculate if you know the distance covered by the bob, means up to how much distance it is displaced to the left and to the opposite side also, and how much time it takes. You can calculate the speed. Simple.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm just writing the question, just a minute. Calculate the number of oscillations a simple pendulum makes. Calculate the number of oscillations a simple pendulum does in 2 minutes. 2 minutes is the time given, the total time taken, if its time period is 0.5 seconds. Okay, this I'm writing small t, means total time taken is 2 minutes and the time period is 0.5 seconds. So find out the number of oscillations. Start solving, try to find out the answer. The question is asking, find out the number of oscillations a simple pendulum does in 2 minutes, overall 2 minutes, if its time period is 0.5 seconds. So if time period is given, frequency is the reciprocal of time period. And if one oscillation takes 0.5 seconds to complete, that means 2 is the frequency. It means in 1 second, 2 oscillations are occurring, right? Now, what will be the number of oscillations in 2 minutes? That is 60 seconds.
Ma'am, and 2 minutes is 120 seconds, right?
120 seconds.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
And time period is 0.5. So number of oscillation will be 120 by 0.5. That is like I need to find.
Tell me the answer.
0.5 seconds means like, like should we convert it to milliseconds?
Why to move in milliseconds? Time period is simply given in seconds. We want this time period for finding the frequency, which is the reciprocal of time period. So we got 2 and no unit with frequency, because frequency is the count of oscillation. That is very simple. It is number of oscillations, so no unit. Okay. So it
Ma'am, is
means,
it 240?
just a second. Yeah, 240 is the answer. In 1 second, 2 oscillations are completed. So we can say we have the time given as 240. Sorry, 2 minutes. So what number of oscillations in 2 minutes?
Ma'am, I didn't understand. Can you explain again?
Okay. Can anyone explain it? Who else can explain this? I hope it would now be clear to you. I have written the complete solution. See, a pendulum was making n number of oscillations in 2 minutes. We need to find out how many number of oscillations. But one more thing is given, that one oscillation is getting over in 0.5 seconds. So accordingly, we got the frequency. It means in 1 second, 2 oscillations were being completed. In 1 second, 2 oscillations were completed. So time given was 120 seconds. That is in 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, or you can say in 120 seconds, how many oscillations? 2 into 120, 240 oscillations.
Yes.
Ma'am, I did it like 2 minutes. I converted it into seconds, like 120, and then I divided it with 0.5.
This is what we are doing here. Do you find any difference in the way you have done and I have done? I think it's same.
Okay, ma'am.
Let's move to next question. Shall we move to the next question?
Yes, ma'am.
A simple pendulum takes 20 seconds. A simple pendulum, I'm writing the question. A simple pendulum takes 20 seconds to complete 12 oscillations. Calculate its time period and what type of motion does the pendulum undergo. Okay, this everybody knows. Find out the time period. Can anyone tell how to find out time period? If
Ma'am, can you repeat question?
a simple pendulum takes 20 seconds to complete 12 oscillations, calculate its time period.
And total time by number of oscillations.
Yes.
Ma'am, the answer is
20
1.6.
by 12, it is 1.67 seconds.
Ma'am, 1.6.
Okay.
1.67 seconds.
1.66, Bob.
Yeah, or we can write 1.67 seconds.
Okay, ma'am.
Got it, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, could you please write all the formulas once again, ma'am? On that day I haven't noted that.
There are no such formulas. It is just the formula for time period. And frequency is the reciprocal of time period. Okay, let me write it.
Are these those all the formulas?
Except this, we have only the formula for speed, which is distance upon time.
Yeah, ma'am, that one I know.
Then, yeah, except that, no other formulas.
Okay, ma'am.
Sometimes you may require the formula for finding frequency, that is number of oscillations. So I'm writing total number of oscillations. Suppose you are observing 50 oscillations and the total time you observed found to be about 80 seconds. So total time taken will be in denominator, and this way you can find out frequency also. Okay. Now next question. A simple pendulum completes 40 oscillations in a minute. A simple pendulum uh, completes 40 oscillations in a minute. Find its time period. Solve it out.
Ma'am, 0.15.
0.1.
Ma'am, 0.15.
Ma'am, is it 3?
Here, in 1
Ma'am, is it
minute,
3
40
seconds?
oscillations. Okay, let other students also find out. Everybody, please tell.
Ma'am, shouldn't we convert the minute into seconds?
Yeah.
Ma'am, it's 6 by 400.
Says this.
Ma'am, I am getting 1.5 seconds.
Somebody said 0 point something.
Ma'am, I thought you wrote 400 oscillations. Sorry.
Okay, 40 oscillations. Okay, so time period can be find out by uh, total time taken by total number of oscillations. So 1.5 seconds will be the time period. I'm telling you the next question. Next question is, at 9 a.m., the odometer, you know what is odometer? What is odometer?
I know, ma'am.
Sorry?
Ma'am, odometer means
Ma'am, it measures the distance like
Yeah,
by the car.
it shows how much distance we have covered. Okay. So at 9 a.m., the odometer reading was found to be this 6573210 kilometer in a car. And at 9:30 a.m., the value found out to be 657,320 kilometer. Calculate the speed of vehicle in kilometer.
Ma'am,
ma'am, can you
ma'am,
repeat the
what should we
question
find?
again?
Ma'am, what should we find?
Sorry.
Ma'am, what should we find?
Speed of the vehicle in kilometer per hour.
Ma'am, like what's the speed given in the 9 a.m.?
It's not speed. The odometer reading was found to be that I have already written. Odometer reads out the distance value. How much distance our vehicle has covered.
Like first to find the distance covered, we need to find the difference between the first and the second rating, no?
Yes. It is this. Found the answer?
Ma'am, is it 10?
Ma'am, 1 minute.
1 second.
Ma'am, is it 10?
10 kilometers per hour. Let others also find.
Ma'am, I got 20 kilometers per hour.
Waiting for other students.
Ma'am, when I
Ma'am,
recalculated,
wait a
it's
second.
not 20.
Pardon?
Ma'am, I just rechecked, like, instead of speed, I found a total distance. So, actually, it's 20.
Distance covered is the reading of odometer at 9:30 a.m. means the final reading 6573220 minus 6573210. The distance covered should be the difference between the two readings, and time taken is
Half an hour.
half an hour, so
An hour.
0.5 hours. And this should be, what is the difference?
I'm 10 kilometers.
10 kilometers only, and half hour. So speed would be equal to distance by time. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move to the next topic now for graphs.
Ma'am, is there a speed for the sunlight?
Speed for the sunlight. Light has approximately the value of speed of light as 3 into 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second.
Ma'am,
Can
actually, it will take 8 minutes for the sunlight to reach Earth.
Yeah.
8 minutes.
Hmm. Have you
Ma'am,
been
that means that
it was-
whatever,
Hmm?
ma'am, is that mean like whatever light we see from the sunlight is the past 8 minutes light?
Yes, yes, yes. It started traveling, 8 minutes earlier, and it is now reaching us at this time.
So it's a theory of time travel.
Hmm. Do you have any idea about the Cartesian plane? How do we draw the Cartesian plane for drawing the graph? Graphical representation of weather you must have seen in news channels, and the data for population in a state, in a country, and the rise and fall of prices or rates of the vegetables or cereals or anything. Have you ever noticed the graphical
Yes, ma'am.
representation of anything?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it makes us to see the fall and rise in anything easier. Suppose the temperature today is 37 degree. Yesterday it was 35. Before that it was 40, and before that it was 29. So if we if somebody tells us in this way, we find it difficult to note and focus that how when it was rising and it was when it get fell down again. But when we show the same thing on the graph, it becomes easy to understand. Similar way, speed of a vehicle, because we call generally, we know what is uniform speed. When any object, when any vehicle, travels with the same speed throughout the journey, it is called uniform speed. But this is actually very difficult to maintain and, drive at the same speed, because it's very obvious we will, come across the crowd. Somehow we will come across the crowd and we'll have to apply the brakes. We will have to slow down our vehicle, right? So ideally, we cannot have maintain the uniform speed. Our speed is mostly non-uniform, but it's okay. For some part, we can say if we divide our journey into 3 equal parts, and in the middle part, I was on the highway, I found it very clear way. Then I maintain my speed at say 60 kilometer per hour. So by dividing my journey into several parts, I can say for this time period, I was in uniform motion. Okay, let's start. First of all, we draw two axes. This one is horizontal, named as x-axis, and this one is vertical, named as y-axis. Right? We can draw any of the two physical quantities on x and y axis. The intersection point of the two axes is known as the origin, and it has the coordinates 0 and 0. Means, we have to begin from 0 point only. So this has the coordinates 0 and 0. Do you know what are coordinates? Do you know what are coordinates?
No, ma'am.
It's okay. It's okay. Forget this. Okay. Let me take the values on x-axis, and I'm taking the time value here in let's say hours. Should I take hours? Okay. I'm taking hours. So this is 1 hour, 2 hour, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And here I'm trying to denote the distance in kilometer. So distance covered in kilometer is say 30 kilometer, 60, 90, 120, 150. Now, a person who was moving from, let's say, point A to point B, and on observing the distance covered by him with the time period, what did we note? In the first hour, he covered 30 kilometer of distance. After completion of 2 hours, he covered 60. After 3, he covered 90. After 4, 120. And after 5, 150. Can you plot these values on the graph?
Yes, ma'am.
Like, do we draw a straight?
Yeah, please use the scale for the same. Now, just look at the screen again once. Let me show how to draw it if anybody do not know. Time value is 1 and correspondingly distance covered is 30. So see the one value on time means x-axis, and dotted by dotted lines make it vertical. Now look, stop at the point somewhere in front of the 30. Make a dotted line in front of 30 also. The point where the intersect is your first reading you have marked here. Just put a dot, dark dot, point, and encircle this. Okay. Next reading is at 2, after completion of 2 hours, he covered 60. Means 2 hours and 60 kilometer. So on 2 hour, again, start making a vertical line moving on along the y-axis. And from the y point in front of the 60 value, again draw dotted lines, which is just meeting the time value correspondingly. Put a dot and encircle this. Third is 3 corresponds to 90. See, because with a pen tab, it's really hard to draw the straight line. You people can use a ruler and try to make it perfect. All straight. After 4 hours, 120 seconds, 120 kilometer. And after 5 hours, 150 kilometer. So all these points that I have encircled is the observation of the man driving from Delhi to Himachal, let's say. Although Himachal is much far away, let's assume it's Himachal. Now, because these all points show the distance covered with the time taken by that particular person only. If I join all these points, and I can say, when he at the 0th time when I just started, no distance was covered at all. So at the 0 hour, 0 kilometer. So this point I am also going to count here. That's why I was telling you. Now join the line. My line is not appearing straight, but it will be a straight line graph. Absolutely straight line graph. It means that after every fixed interval, the person covered the same distance. Same distance, equal amount of time interval, equal amount of distance, change in the distance. This means his speed was uniform.
Yes, ma'am.
Uniform speed or uniform motion. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm giving you the next set of observation, and you all are supposed to draw this
Okay.
on another graph. Draw this first. Meanwhile, I'm writing next observation. If you look at the distance covered in kilometer in second case, for the time, the values are going from 1 to 5 only. So you can take the gap of one each, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But for kilometer, how much gap are you going to take in between the values and from where you will begin? Please tell me, because the values are going from 20, beginning from 20 to 90. What do you think the gap would be fine?
And 10 kilometers.
If you will take 10 gap, you need to put
take
10 marking.
30. 30.
Listen to me, listen to me. It's your choice completely. It disappeared. Wait. If you take a gap of 10 kilometer, you will have 10 points marking on y-axis. If you take gap of 20 each, you will have only 5. So look, see how the more precise and the more, the more deep we go in this, so the graph appears that clear and it gives the clear observation, clear idea about the things. If you want, you can take 20 gap also, 10 gap also would be fine. Draw everyone and show. Put on your cameras, everyone, quickly. And show me the graph once it's done.
Ma'am, can you show the question again?
Okay, data you want to see again. Wait. Within 2 minutes, I want everybody's graph. For the values, 68, 45, you still can have idea, take the, by just an idea between 40 and 50, you can take. But for 68, take it closer to 70 and further from 60.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm like, this is almost like same as our normal graph.
Same as the normal graph.
What is
I'm like,
after
But I have done the graph.
Okay. Wait for a while, please.
Mom, even I am done with the graph.
Okay. Fine. So who is showing first? And please, you need to remove your background settings from blur to, clear none. Then only I can see your notebook clearly. Show me quickly. Advika, how it is straight line graph, my dear? It means you have not taken the equal distance marking. Okay, it's okay. I'll correct it. Wait. Next, show it to me. Who is showing next? Aishwarya, Ashwath, Ritesh, Divesh, Rohini.
Ma'am, I'm still doing.
Yeah, please show me.
now I'm not done it. Like, I did a small mistake, so I'm doing it again.
Just a second. Rishit, Rohini, Siddhant, Sriyansh, put on your cameras.
And can you see mine?
Uh, okay, it's bit tilted. Divesh, I don't think it will be a straight line graph because, distance is gradually increasing with time. So don't forcefully try to make it straight. In these points, yeah, Sritej, it's somewhat correct. Somewhat correct. Try to draw this by freehand because if you will put a scale on all the readings, they will not fall under the same line. Okay, look here. I'm getting means I could understand it what mistakes you people are doing. First important point to draw while drawing the graph is whenever you take the markings on both axes, either the gap of 1 1, either the gap of 2 2, 5 5, 10 10, doesn't matter. The first mark that you put from the beginning, suppose with the help of ruler you are taking this 1 centimeter, then every next mark should lie at next 1 centimeter only. Are you getting? And the same marking should be on the y-axis, means your every successive mark, if it is on x-axis or it is on y-axis, if you have taken 1 centimeter as your one unit, let it be 1 centimeter on both axes. Don't change it. I can see in few of your notebooks that on x-axis you have taken a large gap between them, not talking about the values, but just the mark. Okay. And on y-axis, because you found the values are more in number, so you reduce the gap. That's not correct.
Madam, can you see this?
Gap.
Sorry.
Wait, Siddhant, hold on. I hope you all got what I'm trying to tell you. Again, it's not straight.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not straight line, dear.
Ma'am, here it's ununiform speed, right?
These values are not the ones for the second case. I don't think so. Are these values the one that I gave you for the second case?
You are asking me?
Yeah, so yes.
No, ma'am, like I added my own values.
No, what are you doing?
I'm like,
Okay. I know, it's okay, it's okay. Most of you are not able to, make the proper graph. That's fine. We'll practice it more, and don't worry. That's why I haven't included this in your test also. We need 1-2 more classes. We'll be practicing graph. Don't
Ma'am,
worry.
can you see
Ashwath, wait, hold on. Again, it's not straight line. You are forcefully, you all are trying to make the lines straight forcefully. It is not. I can clearly see your alignment. See your straight line and see your last 2 points. They are missing on your straight line. Why didn't you draw the free hand and make it curve moving upwards? Like something is rising. Okay. Children, don't worry. Let me show you what I was trying to say very quickly.
Ma'am, I understood because it's 68 and 45. We shouldn't expect.
You can clearly see in first case the values of distance and time were lying at equal distance, means equal gap was there. But in second case, I gave you the values for non-uniform speed. We can clearly see the time taken is same, equal amount. Go on the definition. And distance covered is not same. First the gap of 10, then gap of 15, then more, then furthermore. Okay. So these points are not at all lying in the straight line. If you draw it freehand, it will, on the tab, it's very difficult. Just hold on. It will rise up. Can you see the difference between the straight line and this rising graph?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
type of graph is this?
Ma'am, I recorrected mine.
So this type of graph is non-uniform speed. It can be either rising, it can be depressing also, but it will not be a straight line, it will be a curved line. You do one thing, you just note down what I have drawn today. I'll give you more set of questions to practice graph. Do not worry at all. For tomorrow's test, you do not have this graph topic included. Don't worry, okay? So note this down.
Okay.
Note down quickly because time is already over.
Ma'am, I done.
ma'am, so the x-axis should be of the same, and then the y should also be like the same of x.
Same means,
Ma'am, like same distance.
don't say distance. I'm not getting what you mean by distance. I mean markings.
Ma'am, like centimeter wise.
You means unit of the graph. If you use a graph paper, there are the square marks in dark green or dark blue squares. Okay, so means it's their 1 unit. That dark colored boxes are their 1 unit, and further they are divided into 10 parts. If you have ever seen the graph paper.
Yes, ma'am.
So I mean that 1 unit according to the scale, according to the ruler you have. If you're drawing on a simple notebook, definitely you need to have same unit for each interval. So if you're taking it 1 centimeter, keep it one throughout. On X also and Y also. If you are taking it 2 centimeter, take two only.
Okay, ma'am.
Don't make the variations on you are taking the lesser means less gap on X and more gap on Y. This will not give you the correct information about the gap. Got it? So can stop sharing now.
Ma'am, just 1 second.
Ma'am, can I leave? I wrote.
Yeah, sure. Those who are done can leave because time is already over.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
Bye,
you, ma'am.
bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank
Bye-bye.
you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Done, all of you. Should I stop sharing?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. The two graphs only you practice once without looking at those of mine. You learn something. You'll definitely learn.
Ma'am, is this